feeling good, eating good, drinking good, thinking good thoughts, having a good time, sharing good energy, in good places with good people, doing good things. I was trying to do the reading in the dark because the light is on. Look, on the actual phone. Well, on the YouTube. But for whatever reason, well, because this light actually like is a censored light, so if I move around, it'll come back on. Um, Ooh, maybe that's indicative of the couple too, because I feel like there is this like sense of like you guys are like you guys want each other all the time, even when you don't see each other. So when you're in each other's space, there's often and always like a little glance, or one of you might be thinking about something at different times. Um, yeah. Mm. Um, okay, let's see. Oh, actually, let me double check and make sure that this is live and that you can hear it. Okay. It is live and I can hear it. Okay, perfect. All right, first card. Ooh, ooh, phew. There's not an X in the world that could get in the way of this. So if there are any like past people that you might be concerned about or that your person is concerned about, there's not an X in the world that could get in the way of this, because the X's have already gotten it wrong, right? And that's all they apparently know how to do, because if they had gotten it right the last time, then you guys would, be with your exes, right? And not be with each other. So there's that good part, because I know sometimes there's that like that fear sometimes in relationships where people are like, oh, well, my ex, that my person's ex knows more about them, or my person's ex still has a connection with them because they have kids, or, whatever the scenario is. But there's not an X in the world that could get in the way of this. It says, truth be heard, you might catch these two daydreaming or smiling about each other, which I said at the beginning, like there's this whole, like, even when you guys are not with each other, there's this, I hear sacred energy that you share, or vibration. That was something that I was downloaded right before this started too. I used to work in a store, doing tarot card readings on Santa Monica Boulevard, in California. And that location, the guy was telling me about how you can share all the information in your brain with another person, if you're on the same frequency. And I was like, really? Because we were talking about something. Oh, he was really good at like watching movies and like analyzing them, and he had done some specific studies in certain areas of esoteric things that I was interested in, and he'd written a few books too. And so I was telling him, like, I wish you could dump everything out of your brain and dump it into mine, so I'd have all that knowledge and information already. And he's like, well, you can. And I was like, really? And so we started to discuss it for a little bit, as much as we could, before we had to get back to whatever, was going on. But he was like, yeah, if you say share vibration with somebody and blah, blah, blah. He was like, but we'll talk about that later, because there was, I think we were discussing work things, and this was kind of like an extra conversation. So, because he owned the shop and I worked in the shop as sort of a tarot card reader. So, all right, cool. Let's see. So that may be that there may be that, well, not maybe, you guys definitely share information. You guys definitely have a telepathic relationship. Your person may call, you may see it as like your person calling you, when you, look, it's funny. I feel like you and your person are like so adamant about making sure nobody from your past thinks that they have an option. So as soon as they come towards you, and I feel like there's this energy like send everybody in, like whoever thinks that they got it that way, and like thinks that they could come back into my life, or thinks that they could, be the ex that gets me off my new bae. That just came out of my mouth somehow. Yeah, that, not even if they abuse their power is what I'm understanding. Like even someone doing spell work, it doesn't matter. Because it's like you did get into that energy of like, what if you could send your problems away today? So you embrace that energy and we're like, okay, because essentially manifesting is just you thinking that you know, like that's how some people manifest their fears. They're like, oh gosh, I really hope this doesn't happen, or I really hope this doesn't happen, or you know, this would be horrible if this, you know, and they keep that somewhere. So I feel like you guys' banks are all geared. There's another card in here that explains it. You guys are geared for this relationship, this specific relationship. You guys are good at saying no. And it doesn't matter like how old the past person is. If you were married to the past person, engaged to the past person, it was your first person. You know what I mean? It doesn't even matter. Hugging and holding and kissing and rubbing and always loving up on you. That's the energy you guys hold too. I think that's a really beautiful thing because the more it's kind of like feeding all your pleasures, like your senses, feeding all your senses with pleasure. There we go. So it's like you smell good to each other, you feel good to each other, you look good to each other, you taste good. It just kind of keeps going on and on and on, right? And that's what creates this like sensuality between the two, this connection. You know, other people is like, yeah, I didn't like the way spunk tasted. You know, it could be, you know, you never know, but that's just not a reality between the two of you. It's like oh, okay. That was the other thing. So when I'm preparing for the videos, I'm also looking at everything with open eyes, you know, with my third eye open. And all of a sudden, Boosie came across my page. Now, Boosie the Syndicate, I don't know what you should call him, just so you know, understand who I'm talking about, because I'm not really into stuff like that. But like when I say stuff like that, I mean like music and, you know, those things all the time like that, like enough to know everybody's stuff. But I'm not really in the industry's business or in celebrities business much. Yeah, I know very little when it comes to them. But it was a video about him finding out, like being told that he was having a baby. And I guess he had been wanting a baby for so long. And I remember some years back, I think it was, him saying he wanted, you know, a woman and a wife and was looking for somebody to settle down with. And, you know, he wanted a baby and all that. And I knew he already had children, but, you know, sometimes, you know, I get it. You know, I just didn't know men had that same emotion. But I guess because he does have children and he's watched those relationships grow, he understands. And like when you value that kind of stuff, you just do, I guess. Because I'm the type of person that's like, oh yeah, I have children and my children are getting older. And it's like, would you have more? Absolutely. Like, you know, so, and it was like, maybe that's something somebody needs to be confirmed about. Like, it's not too late. You know, there are women having children in their 50s. I'm just telling you, like, if the cycle is still there, there's still all these different procedures as well, you know, that a part of that, you know, that mission and that journey is to be, you know, in that club or something. I don't know. Yeah. Yeah. There's this huge energy of too. It's like a lot of your guards or the things that you may have thought were like, oh, I wouldn't, or I don't, or this or that. It was because you were with the wrong people. So there was a lot of doubt and indecision in the game of love, because most of the relationships that you were in the past were all about the erotic bliss of things. But this one is about taking the actual plunge, right? Let me see. Yeah, erotic bliss is kind of like out, you know, everything else is happening out of the water in these cards. This one isn't even in the water. It's just in a shell. So, but this one, the taking the plunge, is the one that's actually, you know, the one that's in the water. And then after that, I'm seeing physical attraction. Yeah, you guys turn each other on big time, because in that card, the two people had their hands on each other's genitalia. So it's definitely like you both get each other going so much. There's a lot of longing and desire. Like it doesn't, I get an energy of like, it doesn't matter if they were across the table. It's like you're over there. Can I feel you? So that hugging and holding and kissing and rubbing and loving and always loving up in you. And it's funny because I was making these cards and one of them is about, you know, divine masculine sleeping in it. And in the thing where they were talking to Boosie, or in the comments, because I read through the comments too sometimes just to see what people be saying, because it'd be funny. Um, and it's the other people's perspective on what they're viewing as well. You might find insightful things there. So, it's okay to browse the comments. But I was browsing, and one guy said, dang, he was like, he must have been falling asleep in it all the time, because he said he was trying to make a baby. And I was like, oh, that energy is in the cards. And I didn't know where it came from. It was just an energy, that I felt from the connection between the two. And I think it's because this is going to be one of those relationships for this divine masculine where, he has the children and, all this stuff, that it really completes him in a way that he's not complete. Not to say that Boosie wasn't when he had those children, but maybe there's something about like remaining and maintaining, because that was also a part of it. It's like some people can become successful in one way or another, like with having a family or with having money or et cetera, et cetera. But the goal is to maintain both of them, right? And you don't want to be in one dynamic or the other. And that's the beauty of these connections, is that's what it is that you need to keep that maintenance ability, like to keep everything steady. So your financial, stability becomes steady, like all of these things, just because you have that connection. And I don't know. Call it magic, okay? Because I have no idea how that really works either. I just know that it exists. I've always known that it exists, and I have never doubted it, because it's always shown me to be true. When I love on people, they feel loved. When I hate on people, they feel hated. So a lot of different cards want to be used today too. I just feel like there's such a great dynamic and energy, especially that whole like being on the same vibration. And that's why people also cannot come into the connection, because it's a vibration that only you two shared. It was something that was built over time. It's not something that is just kind of like, oh, here, the weight of this. Oh, again, it's for individuals who've done their work. Ooh, that's a lot of spirit baby messages. Yeah, divine masculine. Yeah, this energy is heavy, being sucked off, even in public, like on the road, in the car, on the plane, in, first class, somewhere where it's isolated. There's still this energy of being discreet, that I feel from the couple, because they don't want people to, have room for error, saying that they were trying to. It's really just a passion. They're totally comfortable with like people catching them straightening their clothes a little bit, but in the actual act, they're very much more discreet. That's just not a part of their reality. It just isn't. And that's also a part of the protection for the relationships. People that tend to get caught and stuff like that are, let's just be honest, they're on a lower vibration. That's where those things occur, where you see people, getting caught on the couch with somebody else. That's usually the caught energy. You don't really see a lot of videos of like two people in a marriage being caught, like, where are you catching them doing? Right? So the element is different, and it just holds a different protection because of the establishment of the connection. Anyway, I didn't know it would be so tight all the time. That is one of the things. There's this whole breaking the seal every time, every single time. It's kind of like having a sealer when you leave the house, like having one of those things that like covers the jars or whatever it is. Yeah, having a mason jar. It's like she's divine feminine is a mason jar for divine masculine. And every time it's got a, it's like a fresh lock. I don't know. If you know what a fresh lock is, you get it though. It's a fresh lock on that you'll see. Oh, that's the other thing too. It's like you guys are made for each other. Like you guys get each other's humor, you guys get each other's excitement, you guys get each other's anger, you guys get each other's frustrations, you get all of these things. And you respect one another, and there's all of this. Because I was looking at the dynamic between Boosie, because I saw Boosie and I saw his energy and I saw him being a really good person, but it was like, how you look at somebody, you're like, oh. And then because the person is single and looking, you look even deeper, like, okay, well, could I be with this person? And I saw all the wonderful things about him, but there were things that like exteriorly that I was like, oh, that doesn't match with me. And and those things do matter, right? Someone really matching your fly, and it doesn't need to be on purpose. Like that's the whole thing too. It's finding somewhere where it's not on purpose that you guys are even matching each other's fly. It's just kind of like, with couples, sometimes, women do ask the question, like, what you wearing? In this instance, it's kind of like, what color? And then she knows exactly what you're going to be dressed like. And then she dresses like it. And it's like, wow, like based off of just the color, she knew that you were wearing this or that, the other. It's wild. There's this hidden synchronicity. Um, Again, it's something to do with the person having a soulmate energy. So the fact that you guys have lived lives together, right? And then in addition to that, there's this previous, previous existence of you being the first incarnates together. Like you guys incarnated, you guys are one, you guys were one, so on and so forth. If there were a world that were created previously where we lived with two heads and one body, that's the deck I'm supposed to be using. Two heads and one body. I gotta go get that. That would be you guys, But I see it more as like this cherry. I think that's why I found this. It's like two cherries on the same vine, because you don't want to be so connected that you have no self. You know what I mean? I don't know. I just want to, like, that's also a part of this relationship, is that there's smothering, but like in the way that it's comfortable, in the way that, it's what you need. You know what I mean? And you're not coming from a place of like, I don't have, so when I do get it, I'm so desperate for it. No, it's like, ooh, every time I need it, it's there for me. You see the difference? Yeah, you don't have to make arrangements to get the love, to feel the love, and then hope that it's actually going to come about in this situation because it's not in the actual relationship that you need it to be to express the love in. It's not that. It's, ooh, I get to express all my love all the time because. So, yeah, that's that fresh lock. And then I love you in short dresses. So Divine Masculine likes looking at those legs. That's funny too, because last night when I was laying down on my daughter and I did her bed up and stuff and like laid the pillows sideways and everything so that we could sit and watch a movie, but cuddled up in her bed because I know she loves that kind of thing. And I'm not big on TVs in the rooms, so that's why. But on the laptop, and I, hooked it up to the speakers so it could have surround sound and stuff. And so when she got out of the shower, was jammies ready and everything, we were able to like kick back. And I feel like Divine Masculine is a planet like that, but Divine Feminine is too. So it's like they're both getting everything that they give, but then all the things that they needed from other people that wasn't available too, because they're available to give it and they've known how to give it and so on and so forth. But yeah, there's the legs. Oh yeah, I was feeling this energy of like so I don't know about you girlies, but sometimes you might switch up your like hygiene things and like try different stuff, right? And I haven't found a skincare, but I really liked Fenty when I was using that, but I haven't found a skincare line that I love. And Drunk Elephant, which I might revisit. But I tried Nair again, and because I don't like nicking, and I feel like shaving takes too long, and then I tried Nair again, and I actually like the feel, but it's that feeling where like when you get in the sheets and you rub your legs and it's, it's all crickety, where you can feel everything. And I feel like that's the feeling, the sensation that Divine Feminine thinks of when it's like the holding and rubbing and kissing, like him being able to like rub all over your body and it's smooth and soft and delicate and, So it says, your mind makes me want to get naked. Very much a sapiosexual relationship, right? And it says, Daddy loves when you call him and text him and send him random pictures. And I don't think it's necessarily always like, sexy photos. I think sometimes it's like, just like updating him on what you're doing or what's been finished or what you found or, just whatever, because it's an actual relationship. You guys like to know what's happening with the other person. Even if you're not there, just keep, what you doing? What you doing? It's that energy. What you doing? So that's a part of the, like, oh, okay, a picture says 1,000 words, right? So sometimes he gets that picture and he looks and he's like, oh, okay, cool. Babe's overdoing such and such, such and such. Or, vice versa. I feel like it's more so that, like, there's this protector energy of Divine Masculine that Divine Feminine appreciates, respects, glorifies, all these different types of things, to make sure that she is in that connection and present and making sure that she's communicating. I think that's a part of it too, because divine feminine, I feel like, can become like very aloof or busy because, you know, the lady in waiting knows how to be busy, not busy either. And that's the part that I struggle with, is calling it busy, because it's not being busy, because busy is like idle hands, right? But just finding other things to do, keeping oneself, you know, occupied. There we go. Keeping oneself occupied in the best ways. Oh, there, look, that's funny. And it's mostly because divine masculine loves it when he's the center of your world, okay? He just loves being, you know, the end all be all. He is it. Um, ooh, there's a lot of this. I appreciate how you take care of your body. And I feel like it's not just like you do all the things. It's not just your physical hygiene, because you smell really good, divine feminine. You know, you might be the type, you like taking a couple showers a day. But um and then just because you haven't been ran through, you know, you're not running around all the time, you know, you haven't been with a bunch of different bodies, because over the course of time, you know, that kind of stuff, you know, your pheromones change and different stuff like that. I feel like you're very particular to, maybe just like me, like with how you take your, you know, how you take your, which perfumes you'll use, you know, what your scents, which scent you'll acquire. You know, you might, you know, try it on, you know, very distinguished in that way. Like the things about you are very distinguished. So it does give you a different essence, because you won't be found in things that other people are, because you like them for other reasons. It's like, you know, like me, there's a perfume that I love that I've been using since I was a teenager, you know, or yeah, I don't know, but, and they make sense to me to keep them. And I've learned how to layer them with other ones. And, you know, it's just a delight. One of them that you can only find in the knockoff stores, but it's the actual perfume, you know. But because it's so old school and it's like been discontinued a billion times, it's only available in those certain merchants. But anyway, there's this very distinguished and like reserved, and like, you know, just like I was saying about Boosie, like everybody couldn't be his woman though too, right? Respectfully, you know, even though it's like you might respectfully decline, you know, his offer for a date for your own reasons, but he might respectfully never ask you for his own reasons. Not to say anything negative, right? Because there are different types of people that elevate on a high vibration, right? A vibration doesn't have a look. That's only a personal preference, and like a sinking energy. Because people can be on the same vibration, but, you know, be dressed casually and you be dressing business like. But there's a vibration that you guys share. And anyway, but that's the part of it. Like it's all of those things. And you guys are going to have a lot of people around you that have all of that stuff too. Ooh, this comes out a lot too. Hitting it from the back. I don't know if that's just because that's a guy thing in general. But I think that that's maybe like the positions you and divine masculine started in, or some that you have like the most fond memories of, like really, maybe even like when you guys first started dating or acknowledging each other outwardly or like publicly is what I'm hearing. Um, Daddy didn't know how much he loved kisses until he got them from you. Oh, that's funny, because before I was before I started finishing up everything and getting ready for this video, I was watching these algorithms that like end up showing you stuff you don't want to see or might not have wanted. But this one was all about these fake lips. And it was just like how these women went and got these fake lips, and like their mouths couldn't close, and like there's all these issues and stuff. And I feel like there's this appreciation that divine masculine has for you, that you wouldn't take it to those levels. Like he knows that you love your body and you love yourself, and that's what makes him like really just look at you and go, oh, you know. So if it's like any body, I don't even think it's divine feminine or divine masculine. I think it may be like past people may have said things, and or some, I don't know, but that body, like you guys enjoy seeing each other, you guys appreciate each other's physique. I don't know. It's you. It's just you. That's what this card literally says. You, the thought of you, knowing that you exist, knowing that you're mine, just knowing you, getting to know you. Like it's because people change and evolve over the course of time too, right? And so I think that's also the part of it. It's like if, you know, one of you is out running errands and the other one is, you know, at home or at work, and it's just the whole thought of you. You know how that energy is when you think about someone because you love them and you're like, oh, your thoughts are just like kind of consumed. And it's okay. I don't think that that's a bad thing. It's a mental appreciation or fondness for the person because it's not like you're thinking negative thoughts. A lot of the times too, for these specific couples, these divine unions, it's the telepathy and it's the manifestation. So it's the mental work that they do together on that vibration that they share to create those future experiences between the two of them as well. Yep. Outdoor segs is something both of you guys are fond of. And it's a very discreet energy too. Again, like I said, I even put it on the card here. So, no one wants to be, in any trouble or offensive. So just so people are clear. It's with the utmost of respect and consideration. Divine feminine enjoys when you pull her hair and spank her, and the list goes on and on and on. Yeah, there's a lot of role playing and a lot of I want to say BDSM. I don't think I can get around it because that's what I was told to say, and that's come up quite a few times in the readings too. So if that isn't something for you, then that was not your message, but that's definitely a message here on this table. Oh wow. So this is one of those things where it's going from like, I get you to like, we get each other. So in previous relationships, you may have felt like you got your other person and you got, the person that you were with. But this one, it's like we get each other. It's a mutual thing. So it's not a one-sidedness. It's like you guys see eye to eye. Like I was saying, there's this mutual, telepathy. There's this, it's almost like everything is spoken of, but then there are many things that are unspoken of, but it's like things understood don't have to be explained. You share a vibration. It took time to build that. It took time to create and form a certain mindset where you stayed totally grounded in yourself, but was able to extend all of your love to another person. That's also why it doesn't move fast. That's also why, it takes time for the two counterparts to do their healing, etc., etc. Because you want to be so much grounded in yourself that you don't give too much, or you don't take too much, that there's a great balance. It's not like everything stays the same at this. It's like it's going to be like this all the time. There has to be that ebb and flow, right? The up and the down. Also, with respect to healing, people are like, oh, you can't heal all the way. Well, yes, you can, to a certain extent. Okay. And to be these unions, you do have to heal to a certain extent. Okay. And what we mean by that is that after this, the things that you face are things that you heal together. There's a difference when you're in the connection. So the healing is not one-sided. It's like, okay, how do I work to heal the things that I could not do with other people that I'm now able to do with this person? It's like making sure you get it right. So that's the healing process. That's the healing that gets performed in the relationship. It's the personal healing to make you understand and appreciate and value self and a relationship or another person, stripping away that ego. If I don't need a man, or women come a dime a dozen. Okay. It's stripping those egos. And then because of the stripping of those egos, you create this connection. And so then your healing actually is together. It's like, how do we combat this thing? How do we combat this thing? Because again, when you're in a relationship, that's when money conversations come up, right? Whether there's an abundance of it or not, Somebody may, gamble, and that may not be the other person's thing. So they have to be aware of what they're getting themselves into, and, the parameters of this, and how can I help, with these addictions. If you're comfortable with taking on things, the person that has addictions, because I don't think that there's a perfect person out there either. So, everybody has, again, things. Because sometimes it's not even like an addictive nature. It's something that could become addictive, like gambling, for instance. If somebody likes to go bet on horses. I'm only saying that because there was something in the movie or something that my daughter and I were watching that came up about that, or a movie afterwards or something. Oh, it's at the beginning of that movie, Squid Games. The guy who goes and gambles. I know I didn't watch it. I fell asleep on that, but we weren't watching that, by the way. But she saw the title, and I guess the brothers talked about it. We call them the brothers. And but anyway, it was kind of like that energy, like someone who, is addicted and can't control themselves is different from someone who enjoys, going to the horse races and has certain horses that they watch and they monitor and they, bet on. It's an actual like in-depth situation versus someone who just they only go to the track because they want to, try to win big. And that's when they go and blow a bunch of money. It's not that. So there's a difference in understanding too, how some people have become in control of whatever vices they had, so much so that they're able to enjoy their pleasures, but not in a guilty way, which you could see there, right? There's a difference between the two. Someone who's able, and I know some people say, oh, when you're addicted to something, you should just stay away from it altogether. But aren't there those people who run bars who are in AA and they own whole bars? You know what I mean? So I feel like it's to each his own, right? Because no one's able to tell somebody what, maybe even having that investment in it in that way is a bigger thing. Like, getting dressed and taking your person to, races and stuff like that is different, than someone just looking to gamble, looking to make it big. So monitoring people's, some people may feel like they've struggled with a sex addiction and a way to overcome that, but have healthy boundaries in relationships and stuff like that, know what the parameters are. So it's like someone who was a sex addict, do they just never do it again? No, right? But they do things in a healthy manner. So that's what's happening here is people understanding each other, understanding what their triggers are, they're understanding one another. I think that's the huge part of it is studying the other person, you know, and how they fit into your life. When they really miss one another, they stare and kiss a photo of each other. So it's not some like crazy stuff, but like when you see in the movies, and the girl spins around with the framed photo of the guy, and then she kisses it. It's kind of like that. Like, I miss you. I miss you too. They might kiss the air too, like just like thinking of each other and like, those lips. Mwah. It's that kind of thing. They definitely think about each other and, send those subliminal kisses. If you will. There's a lot of kiss energy too. I feel like that's the energy too. Kissing all over. You guys are going to have time to do that with each other. And it tickles, but it's fun anyway. And I feel like this is important too. The submitting. The submitting gets easier day by day. Enjoy. Or by the day. So not even like you don't even have to wait till the next morning. Like you seeing the fruits of your labor in the day, each day that you in the relationship. That's awesome. Okay. I was made to make sure I understood like by the day versus each day. Each day is like, okay, the next day you wake up and you see this new day and you're excited again. It's like, nah, all throughout the day. That's how you make a baby. There's some energy like someone is going to be so happy and so proud and so, it's his plan. His plans are what makes her feel secure. So that's also part of the submitting. And I don't want to get it twisted. The submitting goes both ways, There are things divine masculine is going to submit to that divine feminine likes, Even if it's sometimes just a certain way of wearing hair. Like somebody may be into natural. And, someone may want to go get braids or do this or do that. It's being flexible sometimes. Because there are some people who aren't. Like there's a gentleman who's very militant and pro-black. And I think he's an amazing guy. I think a lot of people think he's an amazing guy. But the type of woman that it takes to be with him, he has a list. It's like he doesn't even want the women that he's been with to have been outside of their race. So, he's like, no, just only natural hair, no, treatments, no pressing, no this, no that. Like, it's a lot of things, which respectfully, like, is why he can decline a lot of people easily. And I think that's where you and your person, where you were like declining people, and you may have even looked at other people and been like, yeah, see, there's your decline right there. Look, I saw it. But with each other, it's more so like, it set a confirmation in your soul that no one else could, like the first thing that came out here, no one else could be your person. There's no past person. There's no future person that could come into your life that would exist at the vibration that this person does, which is with you. And that's why there's nobody else anyway. Thinking of past people makes them sick and they run to each other for comfort. And I get that. I totally get that. Like if someone brought up an ex, or I don't know. I don't even know how these past people, like maybe they send their, their energy towards you guys, and you get reminded of them because they're sitting there stressing out or crying or something. But I feel like these, when that happens, it makes you guys sick to your stomach. Or when somebody's like, you wouldn't get back to with such and such, you're like, oh gosh. And it's not like trying to be mean. Again, everybody ain't for everybody, right? Not everybody can be with Boosie. Not everybody can be with, I don't know. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. I keep saying Boosie because it came up on my feed before I started this reading. So, and I thought that that was just so beautiful that I was moving into this reading and he had found love, and I could see in their relationship, like he came in and she surprised him by letting him know that she was pregnant, and she had been holding on to the secret for 2 months or whatever. And then she had like a whole cake and like a balloon and everything. He was so excited and he cried, and she was busy cooking and stuff. And then there was this part where he was on the phone telling his mom, and his mom said she had a dream. And I feel like that's the other part too. Like the extended family energy is so good. It's so healthy. It's, it's so good. It's so healthy. I thought that was the respect card because of the respect that, they have for each other. But the mom was saying something about she had a dream about the baby or about pregnancy or fish or something or water. She's like, I knew it. I knew it. And he's like, you told my mom? She was like, no, I didn't tell anybody. And so I think that's the relationship you guys have. Like, even if there's a relationship with a family member or a friend or whatever it is, you guys have your own relationship, and that's paramount. So anyway, let's get a few more of these. It's the truth in the relationships that makes it true love. So it's the fact that you guys are honest with each other. Like I was just saying, the fact that like she didn't tell anybody, and she, maybe the friend that was driving her to the hospital or doing whatever, or videotaping, or there's always somebody like when you need a little help, like she might not even have to tell the friend what they were doing, just like, go get this and this, I'm gonna surprise him with something. Some people don't be in your business like me. I'm that type of friend. I'm gonna call and be like, hey, can you do such because what we're asking is not crazy business. You know what I mean? It doesn't deserve questions like, go pick up this balloon art thingy. Okay. It's not difficult things. It's not like, hey, I need you to call this place and tell them, or I'm gonna have somebody call you. It's not that sneaky stuff. So that's also part of it too. You guys don't believe in like secrets, but you do believe in surprises, and that's what makes it different. That's a part of the truth, because secrets are not the truth, right? Surprises are, they're just, it's truth that's withheld to give you an exciting moment, a memorable moment, opportunity, etc., etc. So, and I feel like that's something you guys are both getting excited and like understanding. You're gonna have a lot of like wonderful surprises and like just epiphanies in an everyday life kind of thing. Like stuff that's like, wow. It makes you feel really grateful for the experience. That happens with me and my children a lot too. So like maybe the blending of the families and seeing the dynamics. Because I know like some people can blend families and it just moves like clockwork. Like it's like, Brady Bunch type of energy. Like it's 6 kids, but it works so well. There's the normal occurrences that would happen even if you were on your own. But as far as like there being all these issues between the children and the parental figures, it's not that. That doesn't exist here. It's too much respect and love. It's not from a low vibration, that's looking to, take. That's not where this comes from. So that's why it's different. Divine Masculine is excited to watch you change, grow, evolve in his care and from his love. So Divine Masculine is excited about watching the feminine energy change and grow and evolve, because when you're loved the right way, it does look different. Like that song Love Over All Over Me by Monica, that's the energy. Like your smile is different, your skin is changing, your hair is down your shoulders, and all those different things that people are able to do when they're in a loving relationship. They can focus on themselves and treat themselves well. They're not stressed out losing hair. You feel me? So it's all of that, he not, getting wrinkly and, face getting droopy because, I don't know, you know what I mean? Because that's what be happening, because he drinking so much. Because think about it. There are people who, okay, people might not like me for this one, but I have to be honest about what I'll be seeing out here. So some people don't like Drea. I think her name is Drea Mitchell. She's very controversial. She's very, she's a very attractive woman. She's very, marches to the beat of her own drum. Okay, that's all I can really say because I can't speak negatively of her, even though I may see things that she does that I may not agree with doing for myself, but that's not my life, right? Nonetheless, Drea looks good. Drea looks good. And her boyfriend is happy. You feel me? Nick Cannon. Do the people look happy in those situations? Does he look happy and healthy? You know, I don't know if he's struggling with something else, like a physical thing or something like that too, or just being tired and stuff like that. But like things show and look different because of what they're built in. And I don't think Drea was concerned about what other people were thinking on the outside, or that there were any outside influences for what Drea chooses to do with her life. I think it's inward and forward focused on self. And that's why it's coming. I mean, people might be like, yeah, it comes off that way. Right. So it's an extreme, but at the end of the day, it's an extreme that works for her. Right. And if it's a positive extreme, like, is she actually hurting anybody? Like, I cannot say anything about her parenting because that's not my child, but she did send her son off to college, which some people may not do all the other stuff Drea does, but they will, but they won't send their, they may do all the other stuff. Yeah, I mean, it just, it varies. So I feel like this is one of those relationships where it's like the right caliber, the right, energy, the right vibration, the right goals, the right circumstances, and it's right for them. It may not be right for everybody else, but in this relationship, though, the people are changing and growing and evolving in one another's care. So that's the difference too, is that in these relationships, people are growing and, maturing. Whereas in the lower vibrational ones, it's kind of like, that's not the focus. The focus is just enjoying this moment, enjoying this time. Ooh. And in these dynamics, you both feel grateful and honored to have one another. That's a different feeling, right? It's being grateful and honored to have one another that keeps you excited and motivated to have that person in your life too, right? Because when you're grateful, when you feel grateful for something and you feel honored to have that thing, it keeps you excited about it. It keeps your spirit and your energy renewed towards it. Let's just be honest. You get your dream car, you get inspired to make sure that it's detailed properly. You know what I mean? You may never see a drive-through car wash ever again. And it's not out of a place of like this or that or the other. It's not out of a place of fear. It's out of a place of being grateful and feeling honored to have. Divine Feminine, I'm not calling you a car, but I feel like the masculines get it in that aspect. Yay. Respect, respect, respect. That's the card that I was looking for. I know I said it was going to be X-rated, huh? It's not. Oh, well, it is, though. Trust me, it is. The more the family grows, the more the more tradition it creates. And the foundation is purebred. Geniuses at heart. So it's like the more the family grows. So I get an energy of like the current family, under the roof and the extended family as well. Ooh, this respect grows a lot too because his heart feels safe in Divine Feminine's hands. So it's like he knows she wouldn't hurt him. She respects the relationship, or she respects him as a person. That's just how they do it. It's the simple things he's going to love. Seeing the changes that his love makes in your life. That he's really feeling that. I guess it would matter, to be able to see that and watch that, especially if, you're knowledge sharing and you seeing someone get better and use the things that you taught them, and, showing that respect outwardly, because maybe other people didn't, take to heart even. My body all over your body. It's your body. I feel like there's they like to be discreet though too. When DM aims too fast, the sounds you make, oh, that's not what that says. Oh, it went up a notch. Okay, there's this sound that Divine Feminine makes, I guess. So it's like when Divine Masculine comes too fast, it's the sound that Divine Feminine makes that ends up making him get hard again before he can actually pull out. And that's how you guys end up in that round 2 energy. So it's like when he ends up, coming too fast, next thing you know, you were making this noise because you guys are so in sync. And then he can't, he can't even get out before it's back up. And so it's, I don't know, it's something about your body and the connection and the chemistry. Divine masculine and divine feminine don't acknowledge any past connections. Nothing was real until they healed. No love to give. Yeah, that may be 100% true. Like they don't feel like the love was available to give in the same fashion because they didn't have it for themselves, nor did they know, had they hadn't healed to this level. So it's like certain things were missing and lacking in the past relationships. So they don't really, see them as the connection because they couldn't be until they couldn't be even in the connection until they got to where they are, to the level of healing. This is nice. Understanding that. Divine masculine is excited to, wow, he really is. And I knew that was heavy. Like he's excited to see like how your body changes, how your face changes, just that glow, just everything. He's just going to relish in that because he gets to have that. There's something to say about like a woman that everybody looks at and finds attractive and a man that everybody looks at and finds attractive. And that person comes home to you, like that couple I said, Boris Kudrow and Nicole Ari Parker. Yeah, I think that's her name. Yeah. But what's the other one? Dondre T. Whitfield and his wife. They are sexy. Oh gosh, who's sexier? I don't know. Everybody sit down. I'm just saying. And I used to look at Dondre T. Whitfield back in the day. I think he was on the soaps. And I was like, dang. Dondre T. Sally Richardson. Now that's a fine specimen of oh, I don't even. Yeah. I don't even like women like that, but you can't deny. And if you see her act too, she's such a wonderful actress. It's like, wow, like her craft, she's even just really good. Like she's just, it's kind of that energy. It's like, oh, how could people be so good? And, he's a great actor. It looks like they have a wonderful, happy, loving family. You know what I mean? And it's like, you can't, they're not in the media all the time and stuff like that because they're busy living their lives and enjoying it, making this type of energy present in their lives, So that's what's happening. Like, that's what they're excited to see. And these people were older before I was my age. So they are old. These people are old. Not like that, and not saying that I'm not old to somebody else, but I'm just saying Sally Richardson, and DeAndre T. Whitfield, they were acting and doing this a long time ago, and they're still at it. Look at their ages. 57. This woman is 57? Shut your face. Shut your freaking face. The individuals who are in divine unions also, I've always believed, like when you carry a certain vibration of love and da-da-da-da-da, you live a long time, right? So you age differently too, because you have preserved yourself internally, externally, blah, 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 right? And that's all a part of it. Like that's why people can mature and look 57. Something about Chicago may be significant because Chicago flights just came up. Now, I don't know why. How old is DeAndre? Or Dondre, sorry. See, that's why he's not mine. I couldn't get his name right. And he's 55. So I figured there was a little bit of an age difference and that he was younger, but it's not even significant because do you see him standing next to her? You do still, right? Okay, yeah. And that's the whole thing about it. It's this great... Wait... Oh, yeah, he is 55. Oh, so he's 10 years older than me, and she's just a few years older than him, like 2 years older. But they look great. Like, they look better than some of these people that's in their 30s right now. I'm just saying. This, group behind us that's aging like milk, like, they be sour like them, that fruit you get in it. You gotta eat it in the car. That's why they be so quick to, get involved with people because they know they deteriorating, and a lot of it has to do with the way that they think about their physical aspects of life right now. A lot of people have grown into this mentality like it doesn't matter, just don't get your heart involved, and it's like, you gotta don't get none of you involved in the mess. But that's again reserved and preserved, right, for love, because again, someone can make someone else look... They look good, though. Woo. Sally Richardson. Yeah. And Nicole, Ari Parker, and Boris look great too. But I'm thinking, like, that's the energy. That's the energy. That's the vibration. It's because of the real love. Like, you can't be in a toxic dynamic and expect to look like this when you're 57. Nah, that's not a. That's why a lot of people don't look good. They're 57. They look 57. She looks 35 right now. Anyway, Divine Masculine is excited to watch you change, grow, and evolve in his care. Again, he's excited to see that Sally Richardson pull out. He can't wait. He's so excited because that's what this is. This is a healed vibration. And that's why it presents these capabilities. Thinking of past people makes them sick. Again, maybe this is for cross watchers. I don't know. But past people's energies make these people sick. They really don't want anybody, and they feel like, oh, if there's someone that thinks that they can, then go right ahead, come towards. It doesn't matter. You can say what you want to all day, but the proof is in the pudding. Who are they with? That's what they're saying. So anyway, it goes from I get you, where you were in dynamics where you understood the soulmate connections possibly and respected them, appreciated them, and looked to grow the dynamic, but it didn't work out. There was probably more healing on the other person's side, which is also why it causes this physical incapability to be connected or around them. It's because it's like that's from a different vibration that, you know, would bring about a lot of pain and stuff like that. So it's going to automatically resonate with a negative energy within your body. But anyway, just trying to help people understand, like, why do they get sick? Is it because they still, no, it's because that vibration is not somewhere that they live. So to internalize the vibration that they were on, to be able to connect to that person, to go back to that memory. And that's why a lot of these unions, like as soon as they, you know, came together, the past disappeared, or why they worked so, you know, fervently to get rid of the past and acknowledge, you know, whatever they needed to let go of things and people, places, all that, right? But anyway, and it's moved to a place of we get each other. So you both recognize the soulmate dynamic, you both recognize the value in the relationship, you both appreciate it, you both are willing to work with one another to fulfill whatever it is that you need to at any point in time. So that's the, you know, beauty of it, to keep one another healthy and, you know, happy and loved. Anyway, this has been almost an hour, and I think this has been really good. Kind of glad it didn't get as salacious as I thought it might, but there is a lot of salacious energy. I just feel like I didn't do those cards yet. But don't worry, I have plenty more blank cards for these couples. So I'll be adding, and I'll probably do another installment of this one, but I feel like this is really good. It really sets the tone and the vibration for these connections, which is why there's no fear entering these. No, there's no fear in love. So I hope that this has been helpful and insightful in some way, shape, or form, and I'll catch you on the next one. Later.